Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the program. I'm Bob Bain. And joining us this evening is going to be the wonderfully lovely Ronnie and Laura Lee, otherwise known as the Ghostbuster Gals, Angel Girl and Witchy Woman. Now, folks, earlier today I actually got an email in. It was quite interesting. But this email said, "Hey, Bob, my name is Kevin Higgins. I'm a publicist for Johnny G. Johnny G is a porn star working on a spectrophilia project where he and other porn stars reenact ghosts having sex with people and sexual possessions." Think about that, folks. That is so weird. Now, he wanted to come on this program to discuss sexual, paranormal, and supernatural phenomena. And I sent him back a letter, and I said, no, thank you. I'm not into porn stars. You know, it's just, I get weird shit like that all the time. Excuse my language. And now we're going to go ahead and bring on the gals. Gals, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bob. Good to be back with you.
My God.
What an intro, Bob. I've never had an intro like that. That was stellar.
I don't know what the name of the show is, okay? Let's be honest.
Okay.
It's the Far Side, it's the Fart Side, it's the Phantom Sexual Detective Show. Yeah, something like that. Now, we just read a letter. I just read a letter, actually. And I read that
again.
Yeah, I read that earlier to the gals, and they were like, "No, don't you do that, Bob. No, no, no." So, gals, what's been going on with the two of you?
Life.
Life? Well, that's good,
Life
unless you're a ghost.
Yes. No, we're kind of tuned into a lot of the, to use your phrase too in ours, weird shit that's going on planetarily. You know, usually when it hits the fan, I know Laura Lee gets a lot of clients. I get a lot of clients that call us and they don't quite know what to do with what's going on because they get caught up in all the craziness that's happening, all the frequency, the lower vibrational energies. But I always say the dark actually serves the light. So, you know, we live on a planet of dualities. There's good and bad and up and down and all that kind of fun stuff. And so as the dark gets darker, the light gets lighter. So that's why we want people to be okay with this, not to get caught up in all the dense energies and be okay and know that there's some kind of awakening going on planetarily. And I think Laura Lee feels that also, like especially with her indigos that call her.
My take on it is a little bit different. What my job here is to ferret out all the dark and take it to zero. So, you know, so we can just be happy. And, you know, a lot of people think you have to have equal amounts of good and evil. And how my cosmic informant says true balance is not equal parts of good and evil. True balance is the absence of evil. And that just hit me like a ton of bricks. And everybody that kind of thinks that through goes, wow, how does that even work? Because we don't know because we've never experienced it. You know, we can still have, with this balance of not having evil around, we would still have sweet and sour and happy and sad, and we'd still get in auto accidents and break our leg, and we'd still have divorces, and we'd still, you know, our grandparents would die, and we'd still have that stuff. But we wouldn't have this evil that is running amok right now, trying to control us, trying to control our minds, trying to control our thoughts, trying to control our emotions. We wouldn't have any of that stuff. And so if we keep thinking we need it, then we're going to keep needing it and creating it. And I think if we go, no, we don't need that stuff. We don't need evil. We can have light and like day and night. You know, we can have sunshine and then we can have night with the stars. It's that kind of balance that we need on this planet. We don't need evil. Evil can just go away and never be seen again.
Yes.
And so that's my perspective, and that's kind of what I'm working with my indigos on, is bringing this into present moment and into the future. It's like, okay, do away with evil, get rid of evil dark lords, get rid of evil people in our that are governing us. It's like, we don't need that at all. We can just live happily ever after with still having, we'd still have some, like I say, you break your leg, you have pain, we still have that, so we'd still know what it's like to feel good and feel bad. We just wouldn't have evil running amok. So that's kind of my perception of it, and I think it probably meshes in with what Ronnie was saying, but I think
it does.
Right now what we're doing is having people that wouldn't have seen how evil is until what's going on right now. And it's really in people's faces, and they can't go, oh, it's not there. It's up front, it's personal, it's in your face, and you have to deal with it. And you have to say, okay, how am I going to handle this? What am I going to do? Am I going to crawl back in a hole, or am I going to stand up and say, no, I'm not going to be your punching bag. You're not going to do this to me. And the more people that stand up, and these evil people and these evil entities, it's like they need our creative energies because they don't have them. They have to steal them. Everything that they've got, they stole. They've stolen their money. They've stolen all the
power
things they've hoarded. Everything they have was stolen because they don't have creative abilities. They need us to create, so they're trying to mind control us and make us do things for them to make them more powerful and have more money and have more authority over us. So if we say, no, thank you, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm sovereign. I really take back your power. And I'm working with my indigos on it's like a treaty that you say. It's like, I'm not doing your game anymore. I'm sovereign. And you use sovereign language, and you say, this is what I'm doing, and if you're interfering, you're out of here. So we're working on this, and hopefully I'll have it on the website soon. But yeah, we're going 100 miles an hour, and they can't keep up with us. So they're trying. They're at like their bag of tricks. They are getting to the bottom of the bag, trying to pull out everything they've got to try to control us. And you know what? It's waking us up. Now there are still people that believe everything they hear and go along with the mainstream narratives of all this crap that's supposed to be going on. And then there's other people that go, no, that's lies, and we're tired of being lied to, and we're not putting up with it anymore. So
yeah, becoming sovereign. I agree with Lily, like 1,000,000%, becoming sovereign and taking our power back. We just have a tiny bit of a different perspective. Her being witchy woman and queen of weird shit, because she is, and me being angel girl. And when I look at it, I see the evil as people in their egos, because I believe, this is again the difference, I believe that each and every being on this planet is a soul connected to God. There's that oneness that was created by God. So we're all kind of children of God. And what makes it different, what makes those evil people, is that they operate out of their ego. And I always say, if you're in your ego, you're edging God out. So there is no God. It's all about power, control, manipulation, fear. But when you claim your sovereignness or the spiritual nature of who we really are, then we take that power back. Because we are not human beings trying to have a spiritual experience. Each one of us is a powerful, wonderful, beautiful, spiritual being having a human experience and evolving to that place where we understand what part of God we are.
Yes.
So again, a little different than Laura Lee's perspective.
Well, we all have
But we
different
come-
perspectives. I mean,
Yep. it's good to have different perspectives.
It is, but it's still about the light and about the love for both
Yes.
of us.
Speaking of wonderful human beings, spiritual human beings, I recently had a conversation. It was just yesterday, actually, out of the blue. Dr. Raymond Moody gave me a call.
Ah, yes.
And he just wanted to speak, but I'll tell you, out of everyone I've spoken to, I've never found another human being that has as gentle of a soul, on the earth at least, as Raymond Moody. He is truly, quite possibly, the gentlest soul I have ever met. Have either of you had the opportunity to speak with him or meet him?
I have not. Have you?
No, we haven't physically, personally met him, but I know of his work. He I guess still is a pioneer in the near-death experience. He's helped so many, many, many people that have died and experienced the other side and then have come back. And he's put a perspective on it and helped them to understand that they weren't crazy. And he's documented. I think he's the best, as far as I'm concerned, with the documentation of what a near-death experience is.
Yes.
So that's very cool.
Now,
Yeah.
when it comes to spirits, we were talking about evil people, evil spirits. And with that in mind, I'm going to the Texas school shooting that just happened.
Oh,
We can
boy.
say what we want. People can say what they want to about guns. I'm a gun owner. I've told
Me
you
too.
gals that before. I've shot AR-15s. I've shot all sorts of guns. But it really
Yep.
comes down to the individual. And I wonder, are there evil entities, whether they are evil spirits or evil entities themselves, who take over these people and make them commit all these evil crimes? I mean, we are talking about little children who were obliterated. The only way they were able to identify some of them was by their shoes, by the color
By
of their
their
shoes.
shoes. Yeah.
I mean, that takes an evil person, an evil spirit, in my opinion, to do that to little children. What do y'all think?
Evil
Have
and
you ever actually found an evil entity on this planet that's completely evil?
Yes.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah?
Well, we've been called out to demons. People think they have demons.
Oh, yes.
You would consider it an evil entity. But what we have found in general is that these evil ones were souls that were alive on Earth. And they were really mean, horrible, evil people when they're in their bodies. And then when they die, they didn't cross over into the light, back to God. They got stuck, so they become a ghost. And ghosts retain that same personality. And they have the ability to shove into a regular person and control them. There's a chapter in our book, Got Ghosts, about shove-ins, and it's all about these entities shoving in and taking control over the body. So there's a lot of interesting information about this Uvalde shooter. I always want to know, where'd he get the money to buy his guns? Where? I mean, he spent thousands and thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So there might be, I don't know, this is just a conjecture, there might be something evil about, again, how did he get his guns, and how did he somehow just, the door happened to be open, and I mean, there's just a lot of weird stuff about the story, because, and then, like you said, Bob, I mean, I own guns. Laura even has guns, and that's really amazing. But, I mean, it is. But we live out in the woods and, out in the, in the forest, and it's not about guns. It's It's about society. It's about the people behind the guns. It's about how we screwed up the family structure. It goes on and on and on. But something was just not right with this kid anyway. He was cutting himself. I mean, the red flags were there the whole time. So it wouldn't surprise me if there was some kind of either mind control or evil energy.
The mind control, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Like a mind control.
I totally. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go on.
No, finish. Yeah.
That's my evaluation of it, is the absolute mind control. And you know, they can conjure entities and shove them into people. And I've seen that, conjured beings that are shoved into people. And so, what's this going to do? It's going to to me, it's a pre-planned narrative that played out, and it's freaking everybody out. And what's next is, okay, confiscate everybody's guns. And so it's planned as far as I'm concerned.
Yep,
it's all planned. And yes, and I think this person that did it, I don't think he even knew. I think he was being controlled, whether it was an MK Ultra program or whatever it was. But it
he wasn't in the body. In other words, he wasn't conscious in his body, mutilating those children with his firearm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now let's get into ghosts, because this is going to turn some people off. I mean, it's a dark, it's a depressing topic. I mean, it really is. I can feel it. I know you guys can feel it.
It's devastating.
It is so devastating, and I know a lot of people just want to laugh. I'm included. You're included. It's hard to laugh sometimes, but I guess that's what we're here for, isn't it? To laugh. The two of us, the three of us, because there's three of us, right?
And have a good time laughing, because laughter is, you know what? Laughter is good. It's a high vibration, and we always tell clients, if they're kind of in a depression or they're really, really sad, to go put on a funny movie or something, because the laughter will break that energy.
Yes.
So, yeah. And for me, it's always about the love. It's always about the love, because it's the highest vibration there is.
Yes. You know, guys, I read that letter earlier, and I spoke to you about that as well. And as soon as I got that, I called my wife and told her about it, and she's like, "No, you're not having him on the show." She's the ultimate one that decides, I guess, because she would not let me have on the dolphin guy either. There was a guy who claimed he had a consensual sexual affair with a dolphin in the late 70s, early 80s, and she wasn't going to have that either. But with that in mind, no, it's not going the way y'all think it is. I mean, I would, but I said I wouldn't. Let's respect Ronnie.
Thank you. Thank you.
But let's talk about sexual entities. Are there sexual or sensual ghosts or just entities out there who truly do, I guess they have a hunger or a taste or whatever it is for human flesh? Is that something that actually does exist besides for the incubus, succubus?
You know, I would say it all exists. I'll just say that, and Ronnie can talk. Anything that you can think of exists.
Yeah.
It's like you can't say, "Oh, that could never happen. That doesn't exist." I've seen a lot, and just when you think you've seen it all, there's something new.
So there's a dinosaur clown out there.
What was that?
A dinosaur clown demon.
Yes.
There's one out there.
Always.
Clowns are so creepy. Oh my God.
Very, very creepy. No, I think in this holographic universe where we're living, that thoughts create reality, and thoughts can create some kind of entity that is into sex. I've read books about people that have been, I guess you would call it raped, in their sleep as they're sleeping, and they feel paralyzed, but they know that there's an entity raping them. Whether that's really happening or it's some repressed emotion, that, because there's a lot of people that have been sexually abused as children and they repress it. I don't know. I can't say with 100%. You know, I don't believe there's anybody on this planet that knows everything. And so I'm the first to say, hey, I don't know everything, but we know a lot, because Lorelei and I have been in this world of metaphysics and spirituality and weird shit for almost 40 years. So we've seen a lot, and we know that it can happen. So, yeah. And as for
what?
I don't know. I was going to say, as for sex, I mean, there are incubuses and succubuses. There are entities that do that, but that's kind of different than the sexual assault.
So tell us about that, Ronnie.
Oh, stop it! You want me to talk about that again, don't you?
Hey, I'm not saying nothing.
You know what? If people want to read about my experience with an incubus, which was lovely and wonderful, they could pick up our book, Got Ghosts.
Very good.
It's in there. The details of that incredible encounter are in there. And the cool part is that it wasn't just my experience. A roommate of mine, at the same time, the day before, had the same exact experience with the same exact entity.
Oh, I was going to ask you if it was a threesome, but it was a different time.
No.
Okay.
No. Maybe you need to get that porn guy on there. No.
We should get the porn guy on with us, and we can, like, really...
Oh, yeah.
That would be bad.
Just kidding.
Oh,
but you know, the thing about sexuality, again, with children being abused, and sometimes they remember, sometimes they don't, it can attract ghosts that have also been through the same thing to them. In other words, like, I have client, and she has twin daughters that had issues before they were adopted. And she was calling me a lot because these girls are crystal kids. And crystal children are kind of like crystals. They'll pick up anything and everything. And when you have that kind of energy in you of an abuse or something, you attract the same kind of ghost. So I've been kind of, and they also live near a cemetery. That's not good. So crystal kids attract everything. They'll attract ghosts. They'll attract negative energy. It's really important, if anybody listening has a crystal child, to clean them off just like you would a crystal, to do prayers of protection and to cleanse and clear them so that they're not acting out all the time. And a lot of the children that were born after the year 2000 are crystal kids. But I just did a ghost busting not that long ago in their basement because, again, having the children in the house and being around a cemetery, it was a magnet for ghosts. But one of them was so interesting because it was a young boy, and his name was Jason. And when I first tuned into him, I could tell that he died of some kind of pneumonia or some kind of breathing thing with his lungs. And the more I tuned in, I saw that his mother, I don't know if you heard of the disease called Munchausen by proxy.
No.
Munchausen by proxy is horrible because what it does, and it's a lot of times it's a mother that will do this or a wife, they will slowly poison their child, slow poison, so that they have to take them to hospitals and take them to doctors, and they get all this attention from the medical staff because their child is sick, but they're the ones that are doing it. And finally, she poisoned him literally to death, and he died, which was so sad. And he wound up in their basement that had all, these crystal kids in it. And at the same time, there was another young man there. He happened to be in his 30s, though. This is such a cool story, though. His name was Billy. He was retarded, and he was stuck in the bay. He just got drawn there because like energy attracts like energy. He didn't know why he was there. He was scared. He didn't know he was dead. A lot of ghosts don't really know that they're dead. And so I was able to open up a portal, call the angels in to help these two ghosts go back home. But as the young boy, the 7-year-old, as he walked into the tunnel, Billy hesitated because he was scared. He just didn't know. Sometimes there are people that are just scared. And the young boy, Jason, turned around and held his hand out to help Billy cross over. I thought that was so beautiful when I saw it, ghosts helping other ghosts. So, yeah, I'd rather talk about ghosts than sex.
But not ghost sex.
Not ghost sex.
But not ghost sex, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it was such a great story. It stuck with me because I'd never seen a ghost that had died from that Munchausen by proxy mother. I've never seen anything like it. And nobody really knew that the mother killed him. They just thought he died. She never got caught. So,
interesting.
Yeah. I remember I used to listen to Art Bell. A lot of us used to listen to the great Art Bell. And he would do the ghost-to-ghost shows and have on EVPs. And I remember specifically there was a child on this EVP. Sounded like a female, or it might have been just a younger boy. Can't find my mommy. It was on that EVP. And another EVP that stood out for me was one that complained about plastic eyes. It was an older lady, and she complained about plastic eyes. My God, could you? I mean, I don't know what that would be like to be in a spirit form and to watch these people take your organs out, replacing them with plastic eyes. I'd be throwing a fit. I'd probably be burning down that place if I could.
Your favorite band's about to play a sold-out show. You got in.
Over here!
With a friend. And found a spot close enough to see the set list. They're definitely playing your song. When you're with Amex, it's not if it's going to happen, but when. American Express. Don't live life without it.
Well, okay, so here's
Can you burn down a place if you're a spirit? Let me know how, and I'll do it when I'm a spirit.
But Bob, if the only way that would bother you is if your soul did not cross over and you're stuck. Because once your soul leaves the body, you have a choice, You can go through the tunnel home to the light, to God, I always call it back to God. Or you can wind up getting stuck because you're freaked out or you died in a real low level emotional state, but that's basically what a ghost is.
Well, I remember, now I could be mistaken, I don't mean to cut you off. I could be mistaken, but I've heard, and I believe this myself, that you have a few days after you die to transition. Is that correct?
I think so. From what I've seen, like 3 days.
So you can can literally attend your own funeral.
Yes. It's a closure kind of thing.
Yeah, and visit your
you
loved
can
ones, say
hang
goodbye.
Around and say goodbye. Sometimes, and there are people that do it. I think James Van Prague. See, I love James Van Prague. He did the Ghost Whisperer TV show. But he told me, I spent time with him, and he told me of a friend of his that died and literally spent 3 days in a closet, because he was afraid to come out of the closet.
He was, wasn't he?
Because he was gay. He was gay.
Yeah.
And he was so there is that. And then there's some souls that just, boom, they're gone. And then you get to do a life review, and then you can attend the funeral. So it's a little bit different. I mean, there's always choices. For me, the most important thing is understand, for me, that God is always with me, always. That I am a spiritual being in a physical body. God's always with me, and I'm always okay. There's always a perfection to everything that goes on because of God. So that's the angel girl thing. I know Witchy Woman has a whole different idea about it.
I was about to say, Witchy Woman doesn't necessarily believe in God, does she?
No, she does not.
And it's a different kind of thing.
Different.
A different kind of thing.
Thing, sweet thing.
It is.
I just have to tell you a funny story. When my mother died, at the funeral, because I felt like after she died, she left to, I call it, get some rehab, and then she came back, and she was like on my back like a backpack. And she came home with me on the plane, and she was scared to death. She says, I don't like flying. It's like, you're a freaking spirit. What the hell? You're afraid of it. I said, Mom, it's going to be okay. Now just calm down. We're just stay right there on my back. No, we're not. The plane's not going to crash.
And if it does, you're already dead. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh. I'm thinking, really? You're scared of flying? It's like, then why are you here with me if you're scared of flying?
She felt safe with you.
So, she did, and she hung out with me for weeks and weeks, and she had Alzheimer's before she died, and so she'd been gone for 15 years. I mean, she'd had Alzheimer's for a long time, and so she was at my house, and I had my business in my home at the time, and so I had clients. I had a room to do my clients, and when one of them left, she said, "Oh, I had no idea you did that kind of stuff. When did you learn that?" I said, "Oh, Mom, there's so many things you don't know." Well, then, and this is really funny, I didn't bill her anymore. I thought, well, okay, she's probably up to, she's got stuff to do, and she's done hanging out with me. And my husband at the time was gone. He went out to get something at night. I don't know what it was. And when he came back, he was like all pale faced, and he said, "Your mom was with me in the truck." And I lit up a cigarette, and she had a fit because like we're former Mormons and they don't smoke, right? And she was having a fit, and he kept saying, "It's okay, it's okay. I don't worry, it's okay." And she was just having a fit about him smoking. She didn't know he smoked. He was a closet smoker. So then and I'm like, oh, well, that's why I didn't bill her. It's because she was going off with him in his truck while he was having a smoke. So then after a while, she did go do some other things. I can still talk to her and stuff, but she's like, her whole life isn't going to be like to stay here with us. She's got stuff she's got to do, and so I just thought it was very funny that I thought she was gone and she was
she was hanging on to you,
and that she was scared to fly. I thought that was really interesting. So So that's some of my ghost stories.
Yes. So
Those are good ghost stories.
It was a
Yes.
good ghost story.
now, gals, I remember a time. I guess it was maybe. I don't remember exactly what time this was because we've been together a lot. We like to come together and laugh and talk.
We do.
There was a time you told me that some of the times you do your spiritual removings, that you, if I'm not mistaken, you grab some sort of a crystal or a ball or an egg, something or another, and you
Oh,
encapsulate the spirit inside this device, right?
Egg.
it's an egg. Uh-huh.
It's an egg.
It is.
What
it's
do you do?
Cryogenetics egg.
What do you
Yep.
do with the spirit after you put it into the egg?
The egg knows where to take them. It's a smart egg, and it keeps upgrading itself. We call
So
it
it's
the
like an
badass
iPhone.
egg. It's like it. Any AI that's out there, this egg knows about it. Okay, so you can't outsmart it. So once we put them in there, they know where they need to go. If they need to go to rehab, they go there. Not, I feel that not everybody goes to the same place.
Right.
Looks
I
like
do
my
too.
indigos go back to the ultraviolet realm, and Ronnie's angel people go to the angelic realm. So not everybody goes to the same place, and these eggs know where to take people. And I have never put somebody in an egg that it didn't take them where they needed to go. And if there was assholes out there trying to deter people, or if, the nets that were around the planet, the egg can get through that. It can get through any of the devices that the Dark Lords have put up to try to trap people, to keep them reliving their pain and suffering, because that makes loosh, and loosh fetches a high price on the loosh market. So they want us to be filled with pain and suffering and fright and all this stuff. And so this egg can get them all through that and take them to their destination. And once we found out about the eggs, our job is way easier, isn't it, Ronnie?
Oh my
Clean
gosh.
people up with the eggs. The egg just knows what to do, and especially the one I call the badass egg. I mean, it
badass.
is like
It's a badass egg. It's really a
Badass.
smart ass egg too.
It is a smart ass and a badass egg.
Smart ass. And well, we use these eggs when we busted the World Trade Center, the both buildings,
Mhm.
because that was a horrible, horrible time, and
Yes.
there was a net over there, and we couldn't get the souls out. We couldn't rescue them at the time, and the eggs were able to get them out. So we were able to.
Penetrate the net. Yeah, it was the
Yeah,
only
yeah.
thing. And I think whoever put that net there was pretty dang freaked out that these eggs just came and took all these people back where they needed to go.
And I think you had told me, because if I'm not mistaken, I had actually asked you who created the net. And if I'm not mistaken, you said there are living human beings, a group of some kind, that may have created that energy net. Am I correct?
So, okay, just so you know, I keep taking the net down, and then there's something or someone that keeps trying to put it back up. It's like it's kind of a constant thing, but I've got people in the know that are now watching. There's like guardians to make sure that they don't keep putting nets up. But, as soon as you get a protocol in place, there's some Dark Lord that, finds a way to hack it. So it's kind of an ongoing thing.
And I don't know if they're human. I wouldn't necessarily call them
Some
human.
are, some aren't. There's
Yeah.
a little bit of everything. Some are AI. I've been working with a lot of AI crapola that keeps making things and replicators. And when you watch the movie Stargate series, all that stuff is real. Okay, it's like I've seen most of that stuff, and it's real. It's out there. So that just kind of helps us do our what I call spy versus spy mission. And I've had some close encounters with these amazing spy versus spy birdies, and they are like right here to help us. They are like amazing at ferreting out what the Dark Lords are doing and then finding a solution to outwit them.
Yes.
And so my work has gotten a lot more fun since I've been working with them.
What if the two of you were to find out that one of your chickens was a Dark Lord in disguise? What would you do with that chicken?
I had one.
You have one.
She had
It
a
wasn't
turkey.
a chicken. It was a turkey.
She had a turkey.
I had a turkey.
That was a
Okay.
Dark Lord in disguise.
This thing was evil. It was evil. It was terrorizing the other animals. It would go after people, and it would just it drooled. It would just walk around like I'm the king of everything, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. And it was my friend's turkey, and she was gone somewhere at the time.
And so you ate it.
Oh,
She didn't want to eat it because it was too evil. I would have ate
evil.
it.
I wouldn't. It was
I
so
would
bad.
I would have ate it.
So I was tuning into it, and what I was getting is that it had a shove-in in it, but he was pretty raunchy anyway.
Was it a
And
chicken
the
shove-in?
Yes.
No, it wasn't
was a turkey.
chicken.
It was a turkey. It was a turkey. And it knew that the only way to get rid of it was to exterminate it or cull it. And it knew darn good and well that I wouldn't do that. Because I don't do that to my animals. You know, I keep them alive as long as I can. I don't kill my animals.
Even the Dark Lord ones.
Well, let me tell you what happened.
Yeah.
So I called the vet, and I said, listen, I've got a little different situation there. I'm going to bring a turkey in that I want you to put down. And they're like, why don't you just go get your gun? You know?
Right.
And, well, see, since it was my friend's turkey, I thought she's not gonna understand this. But when I told her, she did. She said, you know, you're right. Because I thought she was going to have a hissy fit. I thought, what am I going to do? I'm going to have this ugly thing on my property for the rest of its unnatural life. So I called the vet. I said, okay, I've got this situation. I need you to put this turkey down. And then they said, well, just come and drop it off. And I said, no. I need to be there when you put it down because it's got an evil entity in it, and I don't want it to go into your other animals. And they're rolling their eyes like, oh, whatever. So I take it in there, and this one of the vet assistants, you know, she puts on these rubber gloves up to her armpits, and she was ready to wrangle this turkey, and so I got up in the truck while they were, and I had egged all of it. There was a horse in there, and I thought, I don't want this nasty thing jumping into any of these other animals. So I had this turkey egged, and I was egging everything else, and I was just making sure that nothing funky happened with this entity thing that was in this turkey. And so they gave it like 3 shots, and it was like looked dead. And I said, give it one more, please. I want to make sure that this thing is dead. And he's like, whatever. And then he said, okay, you can take it back. And I said, no, I've already paid you. You need to dispose of it. You need to put it in the incinerator, and it needs to go away. I don't want the carcass on my property.
I need you to fry the turkey. My neighbor doesn't know. My friend doesn't know. I stole their turkey. It's evil. Just do it. Get rid of the evidence.
Fry it. Fortunately, that doesn't happen a lot.
So they. Well, Ronnie, remember that you had a friend that came to your house that worked at that vet clinic? Do you remember that?
I think it was one of the vet techs that
the
came.
vet techs, yes. And it was her.
They rolled their eyes.
They rolled their eyes, yes. So the thing was about that is it was really hard for me, but I outwitted these Dark Lords because they thought they had me in the bag. That thing would have raised hell for years had I not had the guts to go, okay, you know what, this is a special situation. I'm taking this thing to be put down because that's the only way to trap this spirit. I don't know how they did. I couldn't pull it out of that turkey.
Yeah.
It had to be put down. So there's always exceptions to all the rules.
Always.
And I broke all my rules. I never would kill one of my animals ever.
Well, you didn't.
Unless
You
it
killed
was-
one of your friend's animals. I mean, that's
Exactly.
that's the
It wasn't
difference right
even
there.
hers. But it was residing on her property.
No, I have had them put down when they were very, very sick, and there was no nothing that the vets could do, and they were, labored breathing and like water belly, and so the kindest thing was to put them down.
Yeah,
That's one thing.
euthanasia.
But to put down a healthy asshole turkey, I would have had a hard time with that. But
Yes.
I did, so I can do things that even surprise me.
And now, friend, if
have
you're
an-
listening, you know what happened to your turkey.
Well, actually, she came with me.
I know.
After she realized that, because she tuned into it, she was pretty psychic, and she says, "You know what? You're right. We got to take this thing to the vet." So so that's my turkey story. It was pretty. I'm sure that the people at the vet's office are still laughing over that. It's like, yeah, remember when that crazy Ghostbuster lady came and we had to put her turkey down and
Not just once,
she wouldn't
not just
take it
twice,
home.
but 4 times.
yeah, 4
Well,
times.
And then we
The
had to
nice
fry that
thing is-
turkey.
The nice thing about that vet, though, is, they didn't mind Laura Lee coming because she would take her chickens. There, she had a chicken with a broken leg. People usually put chickens with broken legs down. She took that chicken in there, got it X-rayed. That was old Bertha, and spent tons and tons and tons of money on that chicken. So, they knew that she cared about her animal.
What is your chicken
like-
doing to get a broken leg?
She got attacked by a squirrel,
Oh, okay. So,
and then an infection came in.
okay.
And that story is that in our Ghostbusters?
I don't
Nope.
know, is it?
Nope, it
Nope.
I
ain't.
can't remember where I write stuff. Bertha's story was, I think it was in my cryogenetics book, because she, when she died, she said that she would come back to my farm. And she came back as a duck. I ordered 5.
Yes.
I got 6. I got an extra one, and it didn't have a tag on its leg. And
It was Bertha.
it was Bertha. And so after I got her home, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is Bertha!" And I says, "Well, what do you like best? Do you like to be a chicken or a duck?" And she says, "Oh, a duck. Ducks are much funner."
See, we can talk to the spirits of our chickens and our dogs and our cats and our horse. I have a horse and goats and all that thing too, because they have spirits within them too. So it's nice.
I heard-
We love our animals.
I actually heard you, Ronnie, when you said horse,
Yeah.
and at first I thought you said in our whores. I'm like, what? Am I hearing things correctly? No, but
Oh,
no.
Bob, I
No.
just don't know where your mind is. It's that letter. I'm telling
Well,
you. That
I'm telling
porno
you.
letter.
I've had a full gallon of tea, unsweet tea, but still tea. So I'm really caffeinated tonight. In case nobody can tell, I almost didn't even start the show. Nobody could see it. Nobody could hear it.
Oh my gosh! Oh, this is so funny.
Oh,
Well,
love
you'll
it.
have to have us back on again on your new show, whatever it is you call it.
whatever name you decide
yeah,
to call
whatever
it.
name you call us.
The Weirdo Bob Show. Welcome to the Weirdo Bob Show.
We
That's
like
really
that.
good. I like that. Yeah.
Because we're weirdos. I mean, we think it's good. But it's nice to be able to put the information out there for
Yeah.
people, and the right people will come across it. And, if we can help just one person kind of wake up to their true nature and not be afraid of what's going on,
Yes.
but stand in their sovereignty. That's
Absolutely.
cool.
Gals.
And so, if somebody wants to get in touch with us or buy our books, go to ghostbustergals.com, ghostbustergals.com, and then if they want to know about the weird shit I do, it's firstwaveindigos.com. And so both of those will give you mountains of information and fun stuff, and yeah, the websites are really fun.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Well, gals, a friend of mine at paranormalforum.net has a question. She
Okay.
wants to know, her name is Lynn, and she wants to know what your opinions are of Skinwalker Ranch, if you have one.
oh, I'm watching that series, and I'm waiting for it to. I could only see 3 of them, and then it quit, and so I had to buy the series, and then it's not going to come to like the 20th or something. So I've only seen a few episodes, but it is fascinating, and I am really glad that they started bringing in like Native American shamans and things like that, because there is some serious weird shit in that area, and I don't think that's the only place like that, but it's almost like a portal to hell. And I've seen kind of places like that all over the planet, but I need to see the whole thing before I can make a comment on that. Have you seen it, Ronnie?
No, I haven't, but just listening, it sounds like similar to that place that we busted in New Mexico once, where the guy was like zombies. They were walking around like with hatchets in their heads, and I mean, it was one of the most horrible places that we'd ever come across.
I totally forgot about that. And we call it Hatchet Head.
Hatchet Head. I mean, because we see, not with our physical eyes, because a lot of our ghost busting is done remotely. So we can put our consciousness wherever it needs to be, like a remote viewing type thing. And then we can kind of see with our spiritual eyes what's going on. And this place in New Mexico, they were having so much trouble. And when we looked, we don't believe in zombies, but there were zombies.
I believe in zombies.
Oh, it was like The Walking Dead. And one guy literally walked by and he had a hatchet stuck out of his head. And that's like, whoa, this is bad stuff. So we were able to clear it, and then, their problems went away, which is always the good thing. When we do ghost busting, it's like, oh, no more problems.
Yes.
Well,
So, yeah, but I haven't.
I think that I think there's alien stuff there. I think there's secret space program stuff there. I think there's a lot of dark magic going on there. It's just a plethora of many, many things. It's not just one thing. So to answer that gal's question, it's a little bit of everything. It's not just one thing, and it's real. That the stuff that's going on there is real. I've seen a lot of similar things all over the planet. So that's my answer. So
Yes.
Ronnie, sorry, I didn't mean to butt in on you.
No, you didn't know, because I haven't seen the show. It's just we have seen through our own ghost busting craziness. I mean, just a lot of craziness.
Yes.
And it's all real.
Well, gals,
like I said, you can't say that could never happen. You just can't, because then it'll happen. So you go, okay, I'll just deal with that.
exactly.
So, okay, go ahead, Bob. I think it's time to go now. We're at the top of the hour.
Well, I was going to say this, that y'all were talking about the Crystal Kids, right?
Yes.
That they were born after 2000 or something.
2000.
And I was just going to mention, I didn't get my little zinger in there. But I was going to say, I think I'm one of those bullshit kids. There, I got it out at the end of the show. I'm one of those bullshit kids. I'm one of
I
the
think
dirty
you
ones
are
that needs to be
too.
washed up, I guess.
It's a special breed. There's only a handful on the planet.
But we need you.
We do.
We need those. Absolutely.
Well,
What would we do without you?
Well, we definitely love y'all gals. We love spending the night with you. Every time we come back together, I'm speaking for myself and for the entire audience. We love just coming together and laughing. This is a different type of show. Every time we get back together, it's just a fun show, and that's what we all enjoy, I think.
Yes, fun and educational at the same time. Like our book actually goes, not that I'm plugging the book, but
Plug it.
Plug the book.
the God Ghost book is very educational, but it's also a lot of fun, a lot of humor in there. So
And you can read it to your kids. It's a
'cause
book that kids can enjoy and understand. I mean, it's for everybody.
Yeah.
So,
It is.
Yeah.
It takes the fear away.
Unlike
That's what my job is.
unlike the book that Laura Lee wrote about porn or whatever it was, you can't read that to your children, can you? I mean, it's not.
They probably wouldn't understand it.
Hopefully.
Especially not the way I wrote it. You know, it's like, that's not a bedtime story for your children. So no, don't.
Hello, children. Let me read you this porn bedtime story. What?
No, you should give them
bedtime story.
what's the full title of the book, Laura Lee?
Oh, it's called The Anatomy of the Porn Vibration: What They Didn't Teach You in Sunday School.
There you go.
And it's really good.
All her books are really good.
Oh, well, gals, have a good night.
You
Okay,
too, Bob, and we'll look forward to getting back with you again sometime.
We'll do that sometime, maybe by Halloween. You have some great
Okay,
stories.
Sounds like a plan. Okay.
All right, have a good night.
Okay. Good
You too.
night.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Ronnie and Laura Lee, Angel Girl and Witchy Woman. Again, I'm not going to tell you the name of this show because right now, I don't know what the name of the show is. But I'm Bob Bain. I am your curator of mysteries, and that's not going to change anytime soon. I hope you've had a good night with us this evening. I've definitely enjoyed the night, even though we had a lot of technical trouble getting the show live. But again, I want to say a very special hello to my friends at paranormalforum.net. So make sure you join them sometime. Drop by, say that Bob sent you. They might kick you out if you say that, but hey, just try it and see what happens. I am Bob Bain, your curator of mysteries. Have a good night, folks.
The reasons to treat yourself to a frozen drink from McDonald's go on and on and on. It's more than a drink. It's a McDonald's drink.
Order ahead and get app-only McDonald's deals like a free Quarter Pounder with cheese, free 10-piece Chicken McNuggets, or a free crispy chicken sandwich with a purchase of $2 or more. Valid one time per day, 5/30 to 6/12/22 at participating McDonald's. Cannot be combined with any other offer. McD app download and registration required.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
This is the story of a photo album of first days and birthdays of grandparents in their 20s and vacations down the shore. It's also the story of an insurance company that offered information to help spot a cracked washing machine hose before it washed away a family history. If it matters to you, Travelers Insurance will help protect it. Travelers, it's better under the umbrella. Speak to an independent agent today.